Mama wami I'm sorry. Yeah, Mama wami I'm sorry. Yeah, Mama wami I'm sorry. Sungakali sulezo nyembezi. Yeah, Mama wami I'm sorry. Yeah, Mama wami I'm sorry. Yeah, Mama wami I'm sorry.
We founded the foundation, and not only in celebration of Uyinene's life, but also to continue her legacy. Uyinene was a person that was very vocal about gender-based violence. She often was the one that challenged the patriarchal ideologies that we sometimes hold. And so we wanted to continue that legacy, and we wanted to go beyond.
It is important for Parliament to be part of this campaign because any community organization, NPO, or individuals that want to make a change in this country, the doors to Parliament must be open.
Given the context of Women's Month, the Uyinene Mrwetyana Foundation has started an initiative called From Post Office to Parliament, which basically calls for the public, which is young people or women, to submit letters where they call for an end to gender-based violence, but through writing from their own experience as a reflective piece. So all of these letters will be submitted to the Parliament and will be collected from the Clareinch Post Office. And as the first recipient, it's important for me to be involved to show that I am part of the foundation and that we are all collectively working towards the end of gender-based violence in South Africa.
The core outcomes of this project are political and personal. On the political side, we have a petition which calls on the government to establish a national council on gender-based violence and femicide. That was supposed to have happened in 2018, but it has still not happened. So we'd like to have that to happen by the 3rd of December 2021. And then the personal side is that we're calling for debriefing by writing letters.
I'm sure you all wondered why the initiative was called Post Office to Parliament. The name is a commemoration, and for me, a full circle of 1956, August 9th, to today, to now. 20,000 women at a time when they were oppressed. We still are today. They took it upon themselves to walk to the union buildings to say, I will not be denied the right to freely move in the land of my birth.
At times like these, when one feels ashamed to be called a man, to be associated with such hatred, cruelty, and horror. But then again, it is that very same shame that should push us as real men to stand up against those monsters amongst us.
The Post Office to Parliament campaign is a really special campaign because it mirrors the Women's March in 1956, whereby women in the country stood up against the passbook so that they could protect their homes, their children, their community. And this is why the Post Office to Parliament campaign is so special, because once again it's connected to Uyinene, her legacy, and UCT's role against gender-based violence.
Enough is enough. We do not want to lose more young women. We do not want to lose more talent, more leadership in our country. We need to make our streets safe. It is not right that young women have to think twice before they go into the public, into the street.
By UCT creating the Uyinene Mrwetyana Scholarship, They've taken a public stand against gender-based violence, and they've also partnered with the foundation. So that means that they have a moral obligation to be a change maker in terms of gender-based violence advocacy in South Africa. The responsibility that they have is for them to look within the university and to create safe spaces for students, for young women within the university. That means channels where women can use their voices and channels where we can challenge the mindsets of the men in our university as well. So they definitely do hold the responsibility of being the moral figure in our university for students and for staff.
So the UCT community participated in this campaign by completing postcards that were distributed in residences and in libraries, including Uyinene's last residence. And we also invited students and staff to submit digital petitions on the Uyinene Foundation website. We also ensured that the 50 representatives that are going to Parliament were safely transported, which included the first UCT recipient of the Uyinene Scholarship. So we're really honoured to participate and be involved in this way as we collectively take action against gender-based violence.
Minister, yesterday I had said that we are commemorating 2 years of the tragic, brutal death of Uyinene. 2 years later, 2021, we are still mourning more women that are being murdered by the hands of men and GBVF. 2 years later is long enough. And so I will take this petition, I will hand it in to the Speaker of Parliament, as well as the Committee of Women, Youth, Persons with Disabilities. I will make sure that we deliberate on it, we write a report on it, and we speak about it in Parliament, because that is where the change needs to happen.
Yes, the parliamentary process must not take too long, because too many women are dying. This is August, the month that our grandmothers marched. We're supposed to be celebrating how they have financial access and they are participating fully in the economy. I have accepted this memorandum. I'll hand it over to the President faithfully, but I know that faithfully he had listened to everything we've been saying. Democracy has taken its full course. We are going back to Parliament to conclude whatever cleanup that has to be done.
I think I never met Uyinene, but I heard that she was a fighter. And when this campaign ends, I think we will continue with that fighting spirit. We will continue to ask, when will we feel safe again? And we will continue to be convicted that we can live in a country where we can move from one place to another without the fear of violence.
I think that by speaking to South Africa, we create the foundations of us being able to speak to the world. I think that it causes the world to look at us and to look at the way in which we are interconnected. The issues that you highlighted happening in Afghanistan aren't necessarily just in isolation. Gender-based violence is a wider societal issue, and I think by starting in our countries, we need to understand that it doesn't necessarily end here in South Africa. We need to use international organizations and talk about the worldwide lived experience that women face with regards to gender-based violence. So that's definitely something that we need to do.
The University of Cape Town stands with you all.
I want you to feel the pain of each and every single woman and queer person in this country, to say that I want that to be what is going to drive Prime Minister from here on outwards to contribute much more to the fight against GBV.
This is one of the ones that touched me very deeply, this one. That says that Uyinene wasn't